2016, Billings, Montana is where our broadcast comes from. The Redline Computer Studios in West Billings, Montana. Welcome to it. In the weekend, just within your grasp, you can just about feel it. All kinds of blinds in Billings. Temperature check here in Billings. 32, feels more like 21 when you factor in that wind chill. So 32 now, complete forecast coming up in a second here. Also, high winds this weekend. More on that on the way. Livin Large Larry Live at livinlargelarry.com and on YouTube this morning, the TuneIn mobile app on your smartphones this morning. Livin Large Larry Live, the show, our replay sponsor is from Keystone Mortgage in Billings. Their Main in the Heights location still open, but I stopped by their new location, downtown Billings at Keystone Mortgage, a much more spacious space. Keystone Mortgage, our replay sponsor. You're not just a number, you're our number one priority from Keystone Mortgage. Billings' largest two-day culinary event is coming up February 5th and February 6th. It is Taste of Billings at the Billings Depot. You can pay cash for your tickets over at Uber Brew downtown Billings, or you can get tickets online at billingsdepot.org. The Billings Depot hosts Taste of Billings 2 nights, February 5th, which is a Friday, and then Saturday night. It's a stand-up mingle, very casual event on the 5th, and then more of a 7-course plated dinner sit-down on Saturday, the 6th of February. It is becoming the region's biggest culinary event. Taste of Billings, Billings' largest 2-day culinary event at the Billings Depot. billingsdepot.org. Back to your barber days, Jim and Austin's Barbershop, 2225 Main in the Heights, trained barbers and even straight razor shaves. Jim and Austin's Barbershop, $10 haircut, the best ever in the Heights and Billings. Any time of year, any kind of blind, all kinds of blinds in Billings, all kinds of blindsmt.com. Very cool website. Log on and see how interactive it is. But seriously, sailor blinds, vertical blinds, Roman shades, woven woods. Any question you have about blinds or window coverings or window film, talk to Bobby Gray with all kinds of blinds in Billings, all kinds of blindsmt.com. And Bobby Gray and his crew have worked on some of the biggest buildings and businesses in and around Billings, not just Billings, all kinds of blinds in Billings. They go out to Shepherd and round up Columbus as well. And give them a shot. All kinds of blinds, and ask for Bobby Gray. Log on to allkindsofblindsmt.com for contact details as well.
Livin Large Larry Live from the Redline Computer Studios next to the Dollar Tree off of King Avenue West in Billings, Montana. This is Livin Large Larry Live.
Join us again worldwide. Thank you. Redline Computer Studios, West Billings, across the street from the Goodwill store here on Friday, the 5th of February. Livin Large Larry Live. LivinLargeLarry.com. There's never a G on Livin. Log on LivinLargeLarry.com. Audio platform. There's an audio player there. You can hang out and check out the show when you want on your laptop or your desktop, tablets, and also our smartphone mobile app is TuneIn, the biggest radio station app in the world. TuneIn, free for your Androids, Blackberries, iPhones, TuneIn, one word, TuneIn app. Thanks for that. And also our YouTube channel set up. You can click on that as well at the website, livinlargelarry.com. Click on the TuneIn app or the YouTube app there and catch the show live, and that becomes our podcast. After the live portion of the show, you can catch any part of the show that you want with our YouTube podcasts. In the meantime, the weekend's coming right up. It's going to be windy on Saturday in Billings anyway. You can check out a 3 to 5 day look anytime you want at livinlargelarry.com. Click on the weather button. Complete forecast is on the way. We'll look at how this wind is going to affect our region coming up in a little bit here on the show. Livin Large Larry Live this morning. All kinds of blinds in Billings. Temp check 32. Our Billings, Montana forecast from Broughton Construction and Home Repair, BRAATON. You can find them on Facebook. Trustworthy, knowledgeable, offering 30 years of experience in concrete, remodeling, roofing, and siding, as well as specialized consulting service to revitalize your home for improved livability or increased value prior to sale. If you're going to sell your house this spring or summer, then get on those winter remodeling projects. Broughton Construction and Home Repair. Sunday near 45 this afternoon, and not a bad weekend. Isolated showers, mainly Saturday afternoon, about 47 to 50 for a high, 45 for Super Bowl Sunday. Even glancing at the first part of next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, between 47 and 55 for highs. An expanded look at our Billings, Montana forecast. Log on to livinlargelarry.com. Click on the weather button. We use the weather bug. Forecast, meantime, is brought to you in part by Jade Furman of Landmark Realtors at montanaproperty.com. Jade Furman, Landmark Realtors, 1925 Grand Avenue, a longtime reputation of ethical business practices and attention to detail. Jade Furman of Landmark Realtors. We'll have the Billings Morning News and more coming up here on the show. Livin Large Larry Live, livinlargelarry.com.
The following message is brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
The inherent right to work is one of the elemental privileges of a free people. Endowed, as our nation is, with abundant physical resources, and inspired as it should be with the high purpose to make those resources and opportunities available for the enjoyment of all, we approach this problem of reemployment with the real hope of finding a better answer than we have now.
Your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Your stuff can be a resource for change. Donate to Goodwill, where your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org.
You should make a massage part of your weekly routine, or at least a couple times a month. Full service salon and spa, Quick Spa, quick-spa.com, support my show, Livin Large Larry Live, with, when I say full service, I mean full service. Spray tans, permanent makeup, deep tissue massage, hot stone body wraps. Jamie Sue does the best in nails, with gel polish, nail arts, full service salon and spa in Billings. 2348 Grand Avenue, quick-spa.com. This being Friday, if you missed any of our interviews and visits with, say, the mayor or head coach of the Billings Wolves, Chris Dixon, and a few others, we'll replay those back for you between now and the next couple of hours here on Livin Large Larry Live, livinlargelarry.com. From the Red Line Computer Studios, West Billings, Montana. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine about taxes, and my friend received one of those dreaded IRS letters. I says, you know what? Save the pain. Go to Lisa Woods Accounting in Billings, and it is tax season. There's over 50 new laws that were just approved for the 2016 tax season. I don't care to even know them, to be honest with you. That's why God made accountants. Lisa Woods Accounting at 1211 Grand, Suite 4, woodsaccounting.com.
Livin Large Larry Live.
All kinds of blinds in Billings. Temperature check 32, wind chill factored in at 21, and not a bad weekend. At least mid-40s this afternoon. Our Billings Morning News and more from Rimrock Flooring at 1440 Central Avenue in Billings and rimrockflooringmt.com. Mark Wotan, the owner, has been in business here on his own after 11 years in the flooring industry, on his own for going on 2 years now at Rimrock Flooring. Check them out at 1440 Central Avenue. Attribution for news stories on our show contributed from KTVQ.com, the Billings Gazette, and Color 8, also time to time the last best news. Roundup residents had no shortage of suggestions for cutting Montana regulations as they met Thursday morning with Greg Gianforte, GOP candidate for governor. State taxes on Social Security, reforms to fish, wildlife, and parks, and tougher minimum wage requirements were on the minds of at least a dozen people at the first stop of Gianforte's Regulation Roundup Tour. Gianforte scheduled similar Thursday meetings in Two Dot, Rygate, White Sulphur Springs, and also late on Thursday in Livingston. Gianforte created Right Now Technologies, a customer service software firm in Bozeman that Gianforte launched in his home 20 years ago. The business grew to roughly 1,000 employees and eventually sold for $1.8 billion to Oracle. The 33-year-old man who raped another man in downtown Billings has been sentenced to a 15-year commitment to the Montana Department of Corrections. Waylon Iron was sentenced by Yellowstone County District Judge Michael Moses to 15 years with 13 years suspended for one count of sexual intercourse without consent. Officers arrested Iron after witnesses flagged down a police sergeant at about 9 p.m. on August 27th last year in the area of North Broadway and First Avenue North. The sergeant recognized Iron, who was fighting with another man. The second man said he was trying to detain Iron because it had been reported that Iron had raped someone. The victim said he couldn't fight Iron off, but that Iron eventually passed out and he was able to get away. The man was taken to a hospital where he underwent sexual assault examinations. He later identified Iron as his rapist, according to the charging documents. The February Art Walk from 5 to 9 p.m. Friday nights tonight features more than 30 galleries, museums, and businesses showing art. The event is free and open to all, and just a handful of the artists, Artists Anonymous Studio and Gallery out there on North 30th Street, Barjan's Books on 29th Street, Cassie Crafton Kramer at 2701 Montana Avenue, also Chinatown Art Gallery on Minnesota, and Chow Mambo upstairs of Chow Mambo, 2301 Montana Avenue. February Art Walk downtown Billings is tonight. A woman was killed Thursday morning when she was pulled into an industrial mixer at a grocery store. Sandy, Utah police said Carmen Lindhart was working at a bakery mixer at a grocery store in Sandy when something happened that pulled her into the mixer. A co-worker heard her screaming and ran to the machine to shut it off, but the augers didn't immediately power down as per routine operation. Lindhart died on the scene from her injuries. The accident happened around 10 a.m. on Thursday. According to Sandy, Utah Police Sergeant Dean Carriger, it doesn't appear that there was any criminal element to the death, but the investigation is ongoing by police. What a horrible, horrible way to die. Rimrock Flooring at 1440 Central Avenue brings us our Billings Morning News and more. Rimrock Flooring, rimrockflooringmt.com, a 5,000 square foot showroom. Shop it over the weekend.
Looking for a unique experience this Valentine's Day? The Beauty Mark Salon and N2 Cryotherapy of Plaza 24 at 805 24th Street West have teamed up to offer you this honey of a deal, including a cut, blowout, and style for two from the Beauty Mark Salon and a duo freeze for two from N2 Cryotherapy. Stop by and get this Valentine's Sweetheart package at either the Beauty Mark Salon or N2 Cryotherapy for only $99, a $150 value. Call N2 Cryotherapy at 406-534-8850 for more details. Offer available February 1st through 13th. 2016.
It's been a long time running for Brown's Automotive in Billings, over 60 years now, with trust, experience, and communication. As Brown's Automotive deals in tune-ups, tire and alignment, complete auto repairs, transmission specialist, and 4 locations. There's 2 on the west end of Billings. Brown's Auto Service on Broadwater, Brown's West Auto Service, the corner of Rosebud and 20th in West Billings, and a couple of locations downtown Billings, the Automatic Transmission Company, 13th Street North and 1st Avenue North, and Brown's Rebuild Center. It's at 18th Street North and 2nd Avenue North. Brown's Automotive, over 60 years going strong. BrownsAutoBillings.com. All kinds of blinds in Billings, all kinds of blinds, MT.com. A temperature check at 32, 21 with that wind chill factored in, but a nice day today. Decent weekend, actually. About 45 for high this afternoon. Complete forecast always available. Expanded look at livinlargelarry.com and click on the weather button. Coming up, a replay of the talk with Chris Dixon, head coach of the Billings Wolves. The Billings Wolves set to kick off season number 2 at Rimrock Auto Arena coming up on February 20th against the Sioux Falls Storm. So if you missed the Chris Dixon talk a couple of days ago, we'll replay it here for you in a second. Replay sponsor of our show from Keystone Mortgage in their new digs in downtown Billings, right across from the pub station. Go check it out. Keystone Mortgage. You'll find them on Facebook as well. The keyword would be pretty simple. Keystone. Just type that in.
Livin Large Larry live from the Redline Computer Studios next to the Dollar Tree off of King Avenue West in Billings, Montana. This is Livin Large Larry live.
Earlier this week on the show with Coach Chris Dixon of the Billings Wolves. LivinLargeLarry.com. All right, Livin Large Larry Live and livinlargelarry.com. Remember, there's no G ever on Livin, livinlargelarry.com, or on YouTube. You can click on YouTube there. Also, on your smartphone, just download the TuneIn app for iPhones and Androids for the show. Today, and as promised, Chris Dixon, head coach of the Billings Wolves and of Chris Dixon Sports. That's what your company's name, right?
Yep, yes it is.
Are you excited about your new company? I've been following you on Facebook.
I am.
And I knew that you would venture out and do something in addition to coaching the Billings Wolves. So talk a little bit about Chris Dixon Sports, how long it's been out in the infancy stages, and what we can expect helping kids around this area.
Well, it's been out since we've been starting up since like December. We've been trying to get everything rolling. It's been a plan for like a year.
Yeah,
and
good.
It's been, going. It's a lot of great things coming up for the kids. We have and what Chris Dixon Sports is, it's a sports company trying to build youth sports in Billings. Of course, my focus is football, but I got a couple other ventures.
I've seen you play basketball. You're okay. You'll do all right.
We're gonna eventually come out with a AAU travel basketball team.
Oh, that'd
We're
be
working
cool.
on that right now. It's in the works. A big time thing. We're gonna try to get these kids, and the focus is to get these kids an opportunity to go to college. There's so many things and so many reasons why kids don't finish what they start.
Right.
And a lot of kids go to high school and don't even finish.
I know a lot of adults that do that too, buddy.
Yeah, but a lot of kids go to high school and play sports and just say this is as far as I'm gonna go, when they really don't know the opportunities that's out there. Sometimes sports going to college ain't just about trying to go to the NFL
Right.
or the NBA. Sometimes it's networking. A lot of guys that I grew up with didn't go to the NBA or the NFL, but they networked while they were playing sports, and now they're able to do other things they want to do with
Sure.
their life. Sports gave me an opportunity. My life ain't just built on sports. It helped me network and, meet some great people, yourself included. And, I want to offer that opportunity, same opportunity to some kids.
Was there a gap in that before Chris Dixon Sports launched? Do you feel there was in Billings area? Do you feel there was a gap in that focus for kids?
Yes, and I thought the other gap was specific training for a sport like football. Kids at a young age don't know the significance of training for a sport, for the season,
Right.
getting your body ready.
Sure.
And I want to teach them that. I want to teach them how to get their bodies ready, how to, stay focused, and, they get a chance to learn the game of football from someone who's been through what they've been through and beyond.
Right.
And to offer that opportunity year round instead of just in the summer, or now I'm offering the opportunity for kids to just train year round. If you're not playing another sport, you should be doing something.
Right.
We always screaming 60 minutes, get out and play 60 minutes a day, but really, where do we offer them to play for 60 minutes a day? And now, with this way, it's not just about training the adult, it's about future as well. So it's a big thing to me.
So when this is all set and organized, and you get your kids involved, where will they be working out and taking direction from?
We're going to be at the Billings Sportsplex.
Okay.
We'll be doing full-time training over there. They'll learn from me. They'll learn from some other coaches. Fun. But, kids, as they get older and get into middle school, high school, they don't know how to win and lose.
The right way.
That's taken out. Yeah, the right way. That's taken out these days. And, we need to get back to the little things, teaching them, how to compete. And not compete in the way of, the parents taking over it, but
Sure.
the kids learning how to compete on a level that they can still enjoy it, but learning how to compete and seeing it score and saying, I got to work harder, or just teaching them those things.
As a dad, back when I'm still a dad of my kids, but they're 21 and 19 now. But back when they were kids, back in the Thunderbolt days of football here in Billings, my biggest challenge as a dad in coaching my kids and their friends in sports was to learn to lose the right way. Because you always want to win and stuff, but there's a teaching mechanism.
I coached the youth team this year in the Mighty Football League, and we lost. And the kids cried, and the first thing I said to them is, don't allow this to hurt you, allow this to fuel you. And that's what I preach. to kids every day.
Well, you've learned a lot you were saying before we went on the air live that you've been in Billings now for around 10 years. Mm-hmm. And over those 10 years, you're an adult, but even over those 10 years, you've learned a lot in which to develop a company called Chris Dixon Sports to this level. So you've learned over the last 10 years and beyond that before you came to Billings, I'm sure.
Right. And the thing about Chris Dixon Sports is not just learned now, but it's been a lifetime building type of company. And what it is, I've been through almost every situation a youth athlete can ever go through. Remember, I grew up with a single mother. I grew up leaving my mother's house at the age of 12, going to live with my aunties and uncles. I grew up, going through high school, and I didn't go to the best high school. My high school today just found somebody, I think it was last week, with a gun, weed, everything on them. That's my high school.
Where was that at?
Richmond High School in California. And then you go, having a baby at the age of 18. I have to be young, and still going off to college. I have a degree. So there's so many scenarios that these young people go through today that I've been through. I've been married. I've been through a life full of.
You got a cool family, though.
I got a lifetime full of stuff. Yeah, man, and I got different mothers, and but I take care of all my kids, and I have them, and I'll spend time with them, and I'm the first one to tell an athlete or a young guy, hey, don't do it the way I did it. Yeah. Don't get married, do those things, and I tell my kids all the time, I went through the worst for you to have the best, and understand and appreciate the best, because you know what. I didn't have it growing up, and so, that's the communication. But, to get these kids to understand what life is about, you have to experience what they've been through as well. A lot of parents has never experienced what some of their kids experience. I know a lot of parents who, single mothers who come through both of their parents being married. Mm-hmm. They got to raise a kid as a single mother, and they trying to do things their parents did when they were married, but don't understand that there's a lot of things that you've never been through that you're trying to think your child is thinking the same way or doing the same thing. Or a father, who thinks life's over because him and the mother ain't together, but don't really understand that you have rights too. There's things you can have and still be in your child's life and enjoy your child without being with their mother.
You've been through the battles in life.
Yeah.
As you were talking, I was thinking that with Chris Dixon Sports and mentoring for kids, and it's I can tell it's not going to be all about sports, because when you deal with kids, mm-hmm. Age 5 to 17, let's say, mm-hmm. you're going to be doing some counseling as well on life.
Right, and that's what we're building. I'm not like my slogan is competitive focus in the right direction. If you learn how to compete with yourself, mm-hmm. You'll take that focus. So if I say I want to be the best football player, well, I'm gonna focus on that. And how do I become the best? And I'm gonna read about it. I'm gonna train about. I'm gonna do things that the best did.
Right.
And that becomes my focus. So if I'm focused on being the best football player I can be, I don't worry about what the world gives me, because now that takes me in the direction I should go. But if I'm focused on being the best, scientist I can be, well, everything else is irrelevant. I'm not worried about anything negative that's going on in the world. I'm gonna go focus on what I'm trying to do in my life. And that's what we're trying to, preach in general. Yeah, we're built on bringing athletes in and those type of things. But when they leave me and leave my company and go off to live in life, I want them to be better leaders, fathers, mothers, people, and understand that no matter what they go through in life, it will never defeat them. They can always win. They can always, long as they compete with themselves and fight through it, they'll be just fine.
Jeez, you have come a long way since you moved to Billings. We were talking before we went on the air again. You did some math, and it was about 10 years or so. And how do you see your growth from 10 years ago in Billings playing football? And what keeps you living in Billings, Montana? You could go anywhere. You know that, Chris Dixon.
I love Billings for, many reasons, but two come to mind real quick. One is it's a town that comes together in a time of tragedy really well.
I.e. the tornadoes a couple of years ago.
And then it's a town that that, my kids love.
Mm-hmm.
When my kid who lived in California came to Billings and wanted to move to Billings.
Says a lot.
Says a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, he lives in California. I mean, there's everything in the Bay Area.
I can picture that. We're moving to Billings, and the kid at his age says, "I'm going to hate it there."
Mm-hmm.
The attitude of "I'm going to hate it there," and now he's glad to be moved.
He loved it. He goes to Central.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. He's an athlete in his own right too.
Yeah, he's doing his own thing, man. I stay out of the way. Hey, do you? And
I see you in the stands, though. You cheer for him.
Yeah, but if you need me, I'm here. Yeah. I'm gonna be your number one fan because I'm a father.
Right.
But outside of that, it's about him. His sports is his sports. I call him his sports because it's his time.
His own identity.
Yeah, and it's not like I tell him all the time. I've done what I wanted to do athletically. It's your turn.
That's
take
awesome.
this where you want to take it. I just want to support you.
Sure.
But like I tell them, don't wake me up at 5 in the morning wanting to train and never taking me to the field. Right. That's our rule in my house.
Let's turn to IFL football. Billings Wolves season number 2 coming up at Rimrock Auto Arena. But there was some news over the weekend, or probably late last week, that you and your team found out about the Minnesota Havoc no longer in the IFL.
Well, it's a little shocking. Like I was telling you before we got on air, we went to the coaches meeting and they seemed on board. Everything seemed fine, and within 24 days in. The only thing I was worried about was the dates. Like, you start planning things.
Right.
Like,
we have already.
Yeah. And so we none of our dates changed. All of our home games are the same. We just got different opponents and.
Cool. It works. I checked the schedule, and it looks like it's going to be intact. And I think that the fans are looking forward to season number 2. Today's February 1st. Big date in Wolves.
Officially today we can start camp. So you'll see guys rolling in today. We get started Wednesday. We start with physicals, meetings, and then our first day of practice is Thursday morning, 8 a.m. And we're excited. We're gonna have an 8 a.m. kind of like a conditioning practice.
Right.
And then that night, we always practice in the evening. We'll get started with our first real, practice with the guys on the field, focusing on
football. You guys practice always indoors?
Always indoors at the sportsplex. Yep.
Okay, because I guess that's the atmosphere.
And I'm sending out a schedule for our practices today.
Are those open?
Mm-hmm. We have 3 open practices this year. So generally two of them are Sunday, and I think one is a Friday.
And they'll be publicized, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to those.
Because we have a big scrimmage February 14th, Happy Valentine's Day. So we're going to get up at 9 a.m. and have a scrimmage. And then
where will that scrimmage be at?
At the Sportsplex. Everything's at the Plex right now.
This is going to be exciting. Season number 2 for the Billings Wolves. And what do you see at the end of last season? The fans stuck by you, win or lose. So there's some great guidance there in me being a fan with the Billings Wolves. What do you see the difference from last season going into this year? What did you learn?
We need to develop a system. That's one thing we focused on this off season is developing a system. Me as a coach, there's going to be things different this year about me than it was last year. Last year, I felt like I had to teach guys how to be professionals, teach guys how to play the game. This year, I could just be coach.
Oh, because you've learned a little bit yourself.
I mean, I could be a little bit. I can let them do it. It's kind of like guiding your little brother. You take them so far, and then it's like, I'm gonna be big brother now, and just watch and let you develop. Let you go through.
Sure.
Leading the other little brother. And so we finally got some leadership. I feel like going into this year, we got some leadership. I think of it like this. Last year I had a blank piece of paper. No writing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nothing.
Season 1.
Did not know anything about anybody. And we built a team. Yeah. People was like, oh, we got so much change and turnover. We're not letting them develop. Well, I feel like if I would have let some guys stay around for so long last year, it would have hurt us, not help us. It would have hurt our growth. We wasn't growing in the beginning of the year.
Right.
So that's why the changes came. And then once we finally grew, we finally got some guys in here who we feel can help us, not short term, but long term.
End of the day, that's the goal.
That's the goal. We wanted to come into this season with some experience and some guys we wanted to keep around. some guys we needed to keep around, and not just build on the field, but some guys we can have around off the field. The key to winning isn't just about winning on the field, because we're not just built as the Billings Wolves, the players, coaching. We're built as Billings Wolves, the city. Billings first,
Billings Wolves.
Wolves second.
Yeah.
And so last year was about bringing in Billings, keeping Billings, and keep bringing them in this year. But now it's built on the Wolves. And so how did we do both? Well, now the city, as you said, at the end of the season, win or lose, stayed with us, which was great. Now we built that. And now we have some leadership and some players who I know, everybody knows. We have now that built. Now the key is taking it one step, one day at a time, getting better together. So the turnover I had last year, I won't have that big of a turnover. I mean, I had 5 quarterbacks to get to Dak Britt.
Holy criminy.
I had 16 different receivers play last year. But out of all that, I mean, you got to think I had 11 offensive linemen. I got, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you don't think about it, but I do. And there's things I got.
That's your job.
Yeah, and to understand why you had all that, you got to understand your rhyme or reasoning to getting there.
But if you had, here's my analogy when I want to do something like this: is I always line up 10 people, virtual people, in front of me. I think 9 would understand that turnover in a first league like the IFL Billings Wolves last year, and like you mentioned, turnover was going to happen. I think they accept that. As a fan, when there was major turnover again and again and again, as a fan, I'm thinking that's just part of growing your team. I would hope that 9 out of 10 fans would know that in front of you.
And if you looked at us though, I mean, if you really look at us, break us down. Don't just say, oh, they lost.
Right.
I mean, let's break down the last year. 3 overtime games.
Yeah.
Okay. 2 games we lost in the last minute. I'm talking about.
You're right.
So that's. I mean, we went 5 and 9.
And that could have gone very easily the other way.
Right.
With those.
Think about it. We went in every game. Every game we were winning at some point. We were winning in the game. So our first 0-5 start, we lost 2 overtime games, and 2 in the last minute. So
that's tough too.
If you really want to break us down, we competed last year when we wasn't expected to.
Right.
It wasn't expected to even be a team that on everybody's radar. But if you think about the end of the season, we won 4 out of 5, which
that was exciting.
Which the one we lost, we were winning with 30 seconds left.
Yes, with all those little bullet points you mentioned, if those went the other way, oh my.
But no, if we were a year older,
which you are now,
maybe those games go another way. You gotta think Dak Britt went through 3 overtimes last year. So when the overtime maybe come up this year,
he knows how to handle it.
We'll be handling it. I, as a coach, went through the ups and downs. You gotta remember, as a coach and as a player, I lost more games last year as a coach than I did as a player in 5 years in IFL.
That's different for Chris Dixon.
I mean, that's different.
Yeah.
You know, like when you, in my career in the IFL, I've lost 5 games. 5 games. That's all we won last year. Right. But I mean, so
being a coach, you take off a different chunk of football. Being a coach,
and this is what I tell everybody going into this year. This is truly becoming the first year of Chris Dixon, the coach. I mean, you got to remember, last year was like Peyton Manning and Brock Osweiler. Okay,
Montana Bull.
Even though I didn't play, I was still teaching a young quarterback how to be a quarterback. Yep. Now, I can be Gary Kubiak, and Dak can be the quarterback.
That's an understandable analogy. That's
now I can say, all right, this is what we're running today. You got to lead your team. I don't have to go show him how to do it. He knows.
Wasn't there a time last year? This probably didn't sound like a joke. Wasn't there times last year? I was sitting 5 rows back at midfield. I watched how you guys worked. Come on, Chris. Didn't you want to strap on the helmet? Put a mouth guard in. Go over and toss the ball around.
No, I toss the ball around every day in practice.
As fans, we were telling you to go in.
I know, man, and I couldn't.
You take with a grain of salt.
And a lot of people say you're only 34 years old.
Yeah,
you can still get on the field. Yeah. And physically, a lot of people see me play around, do flag football. Man, you can still. Honestly, My goal in life is to give to somebody else. It ain't about me.
You've done your playing days, and you're
I don't even reflect on it on my playing days anymore.
Do you like following players in the IFL? Not just with the Billings Wolves or the old Outlaws or whatever, but do you like following IFL players that make it to the NFL?
I do. And I always talk to a couple of guys because I played against them. And
happens.
Some of them ask me all the time, like, man, how did you get your work ethic and those type of things. I mean, I'm also a mentor to a lot of indoor football quarterbacks that, we talk or Facebook me and those type of things, and ask me how you win so many MVPs, championships, those type of things. And so that's what I'm saying. Chris Dixon Sports ain't just built on just the youth. I mean, I deal with people nationally. Every day I get a phone call from quarterbacks, different players that want to be great and always asking me questions. So
you love that part.
I do. I do, man. I love giving back.
Well, I'm glad that Chris Dixon Sports is here. It's launched. I think that your business plan is perfect. It's understandable, and I wish you huge success. Dwan Edwards, I saw something on Facebook the other day. How do you know Dwan, and how that relationship?
Me and Dwan got to know each other about 6 years ago, and he was doing a camp, and he asked me to help him out, and I was playing. It was when I was here playing, and I was like, yeah. Since that day, we've just been cool. I talked to him about yesterday. Yeah, he had called me and we were talking. I told him congrats, and his focus is to keep building, and I think he's done a great job. I think his camp will be back this summer. It wasn't here last year, but it'll be back this summer, and he got some great things going on that to help Montana as well. And so we've been talking about hooking up and doing some things together and giving back to the kids of Billings.
So who do you root for, Panthers or the Broncos?
It's rough. It's a rough situation.
I knew that because
I told him on the phone. This is what I told him on the phone. I said, "Hey, man,
be real.
I love you, man, but I'm a big Bronco fan too, and it's rough." He was like, "I know everybody in Montana like that." So, we had a good conversation.
Well, guess
about
what, Chris?
But
not everybody in Montana follows the Broncos. Kerry and I actually, we respect the Broncos. We're fans of the Kansas City Chiefs. Don't you have some? Isn't there some history with the Chiefs in your family?
Trayvon, he's a Chief fan. Yeah, I tell Trey, man, every time we gonna beat y'all. But my house is weird. Yeah. I got a weird house.
Really?
So I'm a Bronco.
Right.
Trey is a Chief. Krishan's a Panther.
Oh,
Donovan's a Seahawk. My daughter's a Bronco. My girlfriend's a Cowboy.
Oh, we
have a terrible house. I'm telling you.
Jerseys on the couch
But I tell them, if it ain't blue and orange, it is not being hung in my house.
When you were in California, though, have you been a Bronco fan?
Always been a Bronco fan.
Serious? When you were a kid?
John Elway, baby.
Really?
Where are you from?
Wow. I love Elway.
California. He's a California kid.
Yeah,
Stanford, Granada Hills. Yep.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. I'm glad.
So, and I'm a Cal Berkeley fan, and I hated Elway because he was a Stanford.
Jeez.
So, my life is weird, man. I don't like anything L.A. And so when I was growing up, the Raiders were in L.A.
You didn't care?
I didn't like the Raiders. No, I didn't like them. Yeah. They were L.A. Raiders.
You was a Bronco fan. Of course,
I used to kind of like the Rams. I hate them now. They're in L.A. Anything L.A., you would not give me to like an L.A. team. Because it's just that rivalry, you got to think, California's 2 states.
You think Chargers will come back to go to?
No, if they fans don't do it this year, they're gone.
So one more season in San Diego?
Yeah, they got one more. They're going to go one more year in San Diego. That's the way I'm being told.
Give it a try, yeah. Hopefully that's not
Well, the Raiders going to lose a lot of fan base. They're going to San Antonio or Vegas.
There's a lot of Raiders fans in Billings, which you've seen, I'm sure.
Well, that's worldwide. Raiders probably got the biggest fan base. Them are the Steelers.
Raider Nation.
Yeah.
No, but I've been, even through the bad years, my whole family's been Chiefs fans. The kids were born out there. We lived out there. We've been Chiefs fans for our whole life. And even back when I was a kid, my brother, back in the Len Dawson days, my brother is a Chiefs fan. He got me turned on to it. All right, Billings Wolves, first game February 20th. And are the Storm one of the big rivals for the Wolves?
No, we're not a rival yet.
No
we have to earn that.
You got to earn the rival.
We have to earn that right to become a rivalry with the Storm. In order to call yourself a rivalry, you got to compete in that rivalry. And we're not worried about the Storm right now. This year, we're not focused on anybody else but ourselves. That's one thing we're preaching. We're not looking for the future. As a group, I'm not. A lot of people might think I'm crazy, but we're not preaching a lot of things that most people think I should preach this year.
Well, you're the coach, not us.
Right, and so
Respect
we're gonna change. We're gonna change a lot about what we do this year, and a lot of people. And I don't want to talk about it really. I want you to see it.
Sure.
And once you see it, you'll understand. At the end of the year, we'll have our normal conversation, and if we do well, you'll understand, and I'll break down what we did this year.
Fair
but
enough.
we're gonna do a lot of different things this year, and we're gonna preach a different way. And I had a whole off season of reading. Let me tell you.
I bet you're off season.
It was, and it wasn't just focused on recruiting. It was focused on reading. Read from some of the greatest leaders in the world, not just coaches and athletes, but the world leaders. And how did they get in these positions they got in, and what took them there? It's amazing.
It's a lot of work in the off
It
season.
is, man. Let me tell you, I have never done so
Read
much
that
reading.
much?
Not even in
Really?
college.
Yeah. Wow.
I didn't do this much reading, and to learn some of the things I've learned this year. I'm excited. I am. I mean, we're already implementing things. I got a coaching staff that grinds every day. We talk all the time. So
I was at the Billings Wolves open house a couple weeks ago at the Rimrock Auto Arena, and I was, they're hanging out with you guys and just kind of watching your team, and how they interact with the youth and even adults.
Mm-hmm.
And the team members that were there seem pretty approachable, which is what.
so we're gonna be it's gonna be a good year.
Well, I'm part of the Wolves too,
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna be your MC on the field. Most of
Well,
the home
you
season.
gotta have a voice, man.
I'm gonna-
The
well,
energy.
I'm-
We need your energy,
And
man. You're a feeder.
I may be giving you crap on the mic once in a while.
Hey, I don't mind.
Don't take it personally.
I could take it.
Well, luckily we've known each other for years, so you'll know that's just Larry just doing his BS. So, all right, Chris Dixon, looking forward to it. What's your website for Chris Dixon Sports?
ChrisDixonSports.com.
Jeez, that's so easy. ChrisDixonSports.com. Fair enough. I'm proud of you, and I know your business will do well. And just so you know, you guys had, as Wolves, you had about 20,000 fans last year. No pressure, but I bet those and more come back this year for you.
Well, let's go after 60 Billings. Let's
Whoa.
do it.
Okay.
Let's do it. The Billings,
Put
I'm
the
calling you out. This is our year. We
the
want the
number out there.
Billings. They got a big award in the IFL called Fan Base of the Year. Let's win it. Let's win it.
Now we know that.
Let's win it.
All right, Chris Dixon, excited for Billings Wolves Season 2 at Rimrock Auto Arena. Good to have you on our show.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time, and we'll get back together again. Livin Large Larry Live, Livin Large Larry. Chris Dixon earlier in the week, head coach of the Billings Wolves. LivinLargeLarry.com. Livin Large Larry Live, the show, our replay sponsor is from Keystone Mortgage in Billings. Their Main in the Heights location still open, but I stopped by their new location, downtown Billings at Keystone Mortgage, a much more spacious space. Keystone Mortgage, our replay sponsor. You're not just a number, you're our number one priority from Keystone Mortgage. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine about taxes, and my friend received one of those dreaded IRS letters. I says, you know what? Save the pain. Go to Lisa Woods Accounting in Billings, and it is tax season. There's over 50 new laws that were just approved for the 2016 tax season. I don't care to even know them, to be honest with you. That's why God made accountants. Lisa Woods Accounting at 1211 Grand, Suite 4, woodsaccounting.com. All kinds of blinds and Billings. Temperature check here 32, 21 when you factor in the wind chill, and about 45 in Billings, Montana for a high today. From the Red Line Computer Studios in Billings, west end of Billings, Montana, off of King Avenue West and 29th. This is the Livin Large Larry live show at livinlargelarry.com. And you can access all of our audio features at the website. It's made it easy for you. You can click on the YouTube icon. You see there, we're on YouTube as we speak for the live show, and then the YouTube becomes the podcast after the live portion of the show. Also, there's an audio player there. Just click on Listen Now for all these features, and listen when you want to the show. We appreciate that. There's never a G on Livin when you log on. LivinLargeLarry.com. Log on to all kinds of blindsmt.com for a quick weather forecast. 3 to 5 day look. We use the weather bug. You just click the weather button at our websites. There's a high wind watch in effect for tomorrow morning, for Saturday morning through Saturday night from the National Weather Service, and it impacts a lot of towns in and around Billings, Montana. Absaroka, Pryor, Big Timber, Joliet, Bridger, Lodgegrass, Red Lodge, Hardin, and the list goes on. And we're talking Dangerous winds if you're traveling. This could wreak some havoc on your travel plans. Peak gusts from 60 to 70 miles per hour in the area. Again, from Saturday morning through Saturday night. That's the watch as of right now. That changes. And we'll have that via the weather button at livinlargelarry.com this weekend.
Livin Large Larry Live.
Complete weather for Billings, Montana coming up in just a few minutes here. Also, more of the Billings Morning News on the way. Friday. Finally got here. livinlargelarry.com. It's hard to believe Valentine's Day is coming up Sunday, February 14th, and the Bighorn Resorts out off of Majestic Lane in Billings off of I-90 Zoo Drive exit have the Lovebirds special for $99. It's an all-inclusive package and standard king room, hand-dipped strawberries, bottle of champagne at the Bighorn Resort. Log on for details, thebighornresort.com. And don't forget about the Family Water Park package, Valentine's weekend in Billings as well for less than $150. It includes 4 water park passes for the kids and pizza, pitcher of soda, all-inclusive. The water park's open on that Monday, too, after Sunday, Valentine's Day, February 14th. All at the Bighorn Resorts, thebighornresort.com.
I looked down at my hands and was like, wow, I'm performing CPR on this guy. And then I actually finally met him. That was probably one of the coolest parts of my life, being able to talk to him. I gave him CPR.
Reed was just 17 when he...
Jim and Austin's Barbershop, Main in Billings Heights, is the official barber for the Livin Large Larry live show. Our staff here, the best $10 haircut you'll ever have. And if you go over your lunch hour, 10 minutes, you'll be in and out looking good. Jim and Austin's Barbershop, 2225 Main in the Heights, official sponsors of the 2016 Billings Wolves. Jim and Austin's Barbershop. You should make a massage part of your weekly routine, or at least a couple times a month. Full-service salon and spa, Quick Spa, quick-spa.com. Support my show, Livin Large Larry Live, with, when I say full service, I mean full service. Spray tans, permanent makeup, deep tissue massage, hot stone body wraps. Jamie Sue does the best in nails, with gel polish, nail arts, full-service salon and spa in Billings. 2348 Grand Avenue, quick-spa.com.
When I was little, I didn't talk for a long time. I liked things to always be the same. Anything new or different would scare and upset me. I was very sensitive to lights and sounds. It was almost like I had bigger eyes and ears than everyone else. So I built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. I didn't like looking people in the eye. It made me feel uncomfortable. I'd throw big tantrums over little things, like when my socks didn't match. Sometimes I'd do the same things over and over, until one day I found out I had autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I learned how to live with it better.
You can see signs of autism in children as young as 18 months. Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Any time of year, any kind of blind, all kinds of blinds in Billings, all kinds of blindsmt.com. Very cool website. Log on and see how interactive it is. But seriously, sailor blinds, vertical blinds, Roman shades, woven woods. Any question you have about blinds or window coverings or window film, talk to Bobby Gray with all kinds of blinds in Billings, all kinds of blindsmt.com. And Bobby Gray and his crew have worked on some of the biggest buildings and businesses in and around Billings, not just Billings, all kinds of blinds in Billings. They go out to Shepherd and round up Columbus as well. And give them a shot. All kinds of blinds, and ask for Bobby Gray. Log on to allkindsofblindsmt.com for contact details as well. All kinds of blinds in Billings, temperature check 32. Wind chill factored in this morning here in Billings, Montana at 21. But I was glancing ahead past the weekend, past Super Bowl Sunday for Billings. Unheard of weather. It's supposed to be close to 60 next Tuesday and Wednesday, according to our expanded look, the weather button at livinlargelarry.com. Amazing. Be 45 this afternoon. Complete weather and Billings morning news and more on the way. Livin Large Larry live. It's hard to believe Valentine's Day is coming up Sunday, February 14th, and the Bighorn Resorts out off of Majestic Lane in Billings off of I-90 Zoo Drive exit have the Lovebirds special for $99. It's an all-inclusive package and standard king room, hand-dipped strawberries, bottle of champagne at the Bighorn Resort. Log on for details, thebighornresort.com. And don't forget about the family water park package, Valentine's weekend in Billings as well for less than $150. It includes 4 water park passes for the kids and pizza, pitcher of soda, all-inclusive. The water parks open on that Monday, too, after Sunday, Valentine's Day, February 14th. All at the Bighorn Resorts, thebighornresort.com.
Livin Large Larry live.
Billings weather from Jade Furman of Landmark Realtors, MontanaProperty.com at 1925 Grand Avenue. She can provide a market analysis to clients wanting to list and sell their home, including specialized consulting in current trends and colors and styles, as well as modifications and the value of staging your property, which may help increase the profitability on the sale of your home as well. Jade Furman of Landmark Realtors. About 50 or so this afternoon, 45 to 50, sunny. And the weekend coming up here, some isolated showers Saturday afternoon, maybe rain and snow mix, but nice. 47 to 51, 45 coming up on Sunday. Super Bowl Sunday, by the way. Looking ahead to next week, first part of the week, between 47 and 55 degrees in Billings. An extended forecast, always available. Log on to livinlargelarry.com. Click on the weather button at the website there. We use the weather bug. Forecast for Billings from Broughton Construction and Home Repair. Truly local, born and raised in south central Montana and servicing Billings and the surrounding area. It's Broughton Construction and Home Repair. You can find them on Facebook, BRAATON.
Looking for a unique experience this Valentine's Day? The Beauty Mark Salon and N2 Cryotherapy of Plaza 24 at 805 24th Street West have teamed up to offer you this honey of a deal, including a cut, blowout, and style for 2 from the Beauty Mark Salon and a duo freeze for 2 from N2 Cryotherapy. Stop by and get this Valentine's Sweetheart package at either the Beauty Mark Salon or N2 Cryotherapy for only $99, a $150 value. Call N2 Cryotherapy at 406-534-8850 for more details. Offer available February 1st through 13th, 2016.
All kinds of blinds and Billings. Temp check all kinds of blindsmt.com, and 32 the freezing mark now, and 45 for high this afternoon, and a pretty decent weekend. Windy conditions pick up tomorrow morning, Saturday morning through Saturday night, that affect this entire region in and around Billings, Montana. From the Redline Computer Studios, we broadcast worldwide each weekday morning for Livin Large Larry live at livinlargelarry.com, on YouTube as well, and we utilize the TuneIn app. The Billings Morning News and more coming up here in a second. Listen to this list of restaurants participating in this year's Taste of Billings at the Billings Depot coming up in February the 5th and the 6th. On Friday, Commons 1882, Jake's 10 at the Northern, Wild Ginger will be on hand, Bin 119, and more Cajun fatties and wine as well. And then on Saturday, Walker's Grill, Bistro Enzo, Harper and Madison, and at least a dozen wines then. That is led by Chef Mike Callahan. It is Taste of Billings. It's back at the Billings Depot. You can log on for tickets at billingsdepot.org. February 5th and 6th.
Join us at 1-888-858-1408.
Thanks to KTVQ.com, the Billings Gazette, and Color8.com. Attributions for sources we use for gathering our news here with the Billings Morning News and more. And the news brought to you by Rimrock Flooring at 1440 Central Avenue. They have 3 stores for better buying power for you, and you save a lot more money with larger buying power. Rimrock Flooring, rimrockflooringmt.com. Montana's Department of Health and Human Services issued a warning encouraging pregnant women to postpone travel to affected Zika virus areas. But there's another threat. Experts say a recent case was spread by sexual contact. Report from CNN says the person who transmitted the virus had recently traveled back from an affected area. Zika causes serious side effects to women, especially if they're pregnant. Studies show a link between Zika-infected mothers and babies born with some birth defects as well. Montana's Department of Health and Human Services says it's now working with local health departments to monitor Montanans returning from Zika-affected areas. They also have put policies in place to report, test, and conduct follow-up with people. On the 11th of February for a lecture by Rob O'Neill, the Butte native and former SEAL Team 6 member credited with killing Al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden. O'Neill will speak at Montana State University at 7:30 p.m. Monday, April 11th in MSU's Strand Union Ballrooms. A question and answer session will follow O'Neill's lecture, which is titled Never Quit, the story of a life built on successful missions. O'Neill was born in Butte in 1995, a year after graduating from Butte Central High School. He enlisted in the Navy. While in the Navy, O'Neill was a team leader with the Naval Special Warfare Development Group and rose up to the chain of command to Senior Chief Special Warfare Operator. Tickets are $10 for students and $20 for the public. They're available at ticketswest.com. Rob O'Neill's speech is April 11th. U.S. Representative Ryan Zinke has co-sponsored a bill that will require women to register for the draft in response to the move to open all combat roles to women. Zinke, a retired Navy SEAL, and Republican Duncan Hunter of California, a Marine Corps veteran, co-sponsored the legislation called Draft America's Daughters Act. Zinke and Hunter introduced the legislation after a House Armed Services Committee hearing where leaders of the Marine Corps and the Army made statements that women should register for the draft. The bill requires registration for women no later than 90 days after the enactment of the measure or 90 days after the Secretary of Defense opens all combat specialties. Johnson & Johnson, continuing its long quest for a type 1 diabetes cure, is joining forces with biotech company ViaCit to speed development of the first stem cell treatment that could cure the life-threatening hormonal disorder known as diabetes. They've already begun testing it in a small number of diabetic patients. The first, if it works as well in patients as it has in animals, it would amount to a cure, ending the need for frequent insulin injections and blood sugar testing. Rimrock Flooring at 1440 Central Avenue brings you the Billings Morning News and more. RimrockFlooringMT.com. They belong to known buying groups, and that's going to help keep costs down for you, the consumer, through Rimrock Flooring. Again, 1440 Central Avenue. You can find them on Facebook. And all kinds of blinds and Billings. Temperature check 32:45 today. Complete forecast here for you. LiveAndLargeLarry.com from the Red Line Computer Studios, West Billings. Our Billings, Montana forecast from Broughton Construction and Home Repair, BRAATON. You can find them on Facebook. Trustworthy, knowledgeable, offering 30 years of experience in concrete, remodeling, roofing, and siding, as well as specialized consulting service to revitalize your home for improved livability or increased value prior to sale. If you're going to sell your house this spring or summer, then get on those winter remodeling projects. Broughton Construction and Home Repair. Sunday near 45 this afternoon, and not a bad weekend. Isolated showers, mainly Saturday afternoon, about 47 to 50 for a high, 45 for Super Bowl Sunday. Even glancing at the first part of next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, between 47 and 55 for highs. An expanded look at our Billings, Montana forecast. Log on to livinlargelarry.com. Click on the weather button. We use the weather button. Forecast, in the meantime, is brought to you in part by Jade Furman of Landmark Realtors at montanaproperty.com. Jade Furman, Landmark Realtors, 1925 Grand Avenue, a longtime reputation of ethical business practices and attention to detail. Jade Furman of Landmark Realtors. Had a visit with Mayor Tom Hannell, with Mayor Call on the show yesterday. If you missed it, they were going to do the replay of that. It's like Replay Friday on the show here, Live and Large Larry Live. LiveandLargeLarry.com. We're on YouTube. You can click on our YouTube channel right from our website to all the audio features that we've chosen, the TuneIn app, just the audio player, and YouTube, all at liveandlargelarry.com. It's a broadcast to the World Wide Web in our little internet radio show from Billings, Montana, here from the Red Line Computer Studios, West Billings, across the street from the Goodwill store, next to the Wave Car Wash. Mayor Hannell's coming up. Replays are brought to you by Keystone Mortgage. New location downtown Billings, across from the pub station, Keystone Mortgage. How many customers listening in Billings have been customers of Brown's Automotive for the 60-plus years they've been in business? Yeah, Brown's Automotive has been in Billings for over 60 years. That is quite an accomplishment. They've grown to 4 locations now. Brown's Auto Service on Broadwater, Brown's West Auto Service, corner of Rosebud and 20th, West Billings, and a couple of Brown's locations downtown. Automatic Transmission Company at 13th Street North and 1st Avenue North, and the Brown's Rebuild Center is at 18th Street North and 2nd Avenue North. Brown's Automotive, over 60 years in Billings. Transmission specialists, tune-ups, tire alignments, complete auto care. We use them. We've used them for 8 or 9 years. Brown's Automotive in Billings. BrownsAutoBillings.com. Coming up after 7:30 on the show, Livin Large Larry Live, we'll have the Jennifer Mercer from the Billings Depot talking about the much publicized and talked about event this weekend is coming up at the Billings Depot. The Taste of Billings culinary weekend event tonight, Friday night and into Saturday. Two completely different events, too. Tonight's different than tomorrow night. And Jennifer Mercer with the Billings Depot after 7:30 Mountain Time here from Billings Depot. LivinLargeLarry.com. Any time of year, any kind of blind, all kinds of blinds in Billings, all kinds of blindsmt.com. Very cool website. Log on and see how interactive it is. But seriously, sailor blinds, vertical blinds, Roman shades, woven woods. Any question you have about blinds or window coverings or window film, talk to Bobby Gray with all kinds of blinds in Billings, all kinds of blindsmt.com. And Bobby Gray and his crew have worked on some of the biggest buildings and businesses in and around Billings, not just Billings, all kinds of blinds in Billings. They go out to Shepherd and round up Columbus as well. And give them a shot. All kinds of blinds, and ask for Bobby Gray. Log on to allkindsofblindsmt.com for contact details as well.
Livin Large Larry Live.
An encore visit with Mayor Tom Hannell here in Billings, Montana, here at Livin Large Larry Live. LivinLargeLarry.com. Replay from yesterday's show, from Thursday's show. Replay from Keystone Mortgage, downtown Billings, across from the pub station. And Mayor Tom Hannell, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Livin. How are you?
Oh, you've had a busy morning so far, haven't you, sir?
Oh, yeah, kind of an unexpected appointment. Now I'm trying to hurry to get to an 8 o'clock appointment that's very important.
Yeah, well, I'll get you on and off the air in no time flat. But you guys had a
you're fine, Larry. I'm just driving now. So
you guys had
you're fine, and I'm on my hands free, right. So I'm legal.
I was going to ask you that. You better be hands free for driving. And let's talk a little bit about the Billings City Council. You guys met on Monday, and quite an agenda. Probably didn't go as long as last week's 1 in the morning session, but there was a lot of talk about city administrators conducting contract negotiations. Can you kind of enlighten us in layman's terms on that item?
With our contract employees, and this is nothing unusual. We've had this request before with other council persons, be it that they come on the council and they just don't have a good understanding. So consequently, we gave a history, a report on the contract employees in general, who is contract, who is not, where we've come with the contracts over the years, who's on the negotiations committee from the standpoint of staff, and then, of course, the contract employees themselves. And very good explanation. I think it helped tremendously so that they've got a better understanding. Of course, the conversation entered into the amount that has been awarded to the employees over the years, be it in pay and in benefits. And basically it comes down to being competitive, trying to keep up with our neighboring communities and retain quality employees. So very good explanation, great report.
And in some of the other business, Marty Connell introduced the new coordinator of the Billings Industrial Revitalization District. Tim Goodrich, what a great guy he is with the Magic City Blues Festival.
Absolutely. The Goodrich family themselves, as you know, been around Billings for many, many years. Tim, directly involved with the city, the county, the citizens with the festival here in Billings, and has proven that he can be a very good organizer, has taken that by the reins and turned it into a very successful event. Great to work with, very reliable. I think he'll do a fantastic job with Ebury. I think he'll do very well.
Let me pose this question to you, and this is right. I gleaned this from the Billings Gazette, one of our sources for my radio show here. How much input will or should the city council have on upcoming negotiations, with, like the spring bargaining sessions with our Billings, Montana firefighters?
Well, Larry, it should be minimal. We have a charter form of government, and there is specific language within that charter that stipulates the contact, the communication with the council and the employees. And personally, in my opinion, that charter will have an effect on council persons becoming a negotiator if they wish, or being directly involved. Certainly the meetings are open to the public.
Okay.
I invite the council to attend. I've attended, of course, having been involved with contract negotiations both as a contract employee and as management. So it's quite a process. It's good that they go, they learn, but their direct involvement, in my opinion, will be minimal, if any.
Let's talk a little bit about the Billings Police. A Billings Police report indicated that 44 people were issued warnings during 2015 for the use of their handheld cellular devices while driving, which has been an ongoing problem, not just in Billings, but all over the nation. But you urged Billings Police to write more citations. I have to agree, that number 44, I thought it would be much higher.
You know, Larry, 44 warnings is good. We're making public contacts, advising, warning the public that it is against city ordinance, and not just in Billings. This is statewide, it's national. So it's not something we just came up with here locally. It's definitely a hazard. It distracts your attention from your driving. It puts yourself at risk. It puts others on the roadway, pedestrians, and there has been. We have documentation to verify there has been accidents that were a direct result of being distracted. It's a concern. I don't mean to be a sticker about it. I'm on my hands free as I speak right now, and that's the way it should be. Warnings are good. There were only 4 citations during that same period of time, that quarter of the year. I think that if there were more citations issued, the word would get out, and drivers would know that this costs money if I get caught. So let's just either not do it or use the appropriate device.
And when that ordinance came out, I began to, just as a citizen, view and observe. I think your quote was, "It's still a very visible problem." I see it as a citizen as a very visible problem driving around the city limits of Billings as well.
Oh, absolutely. And the same with me. I'm out and about quite a bit. You pull up at a stoplight, you look over, and there's a vehicle next to you. Someone's busy texting. They're not paying attention. Yes, they're stopped. They're not moving. At that particular moment, they may not be causing that threat, but that means they don't know what's going on. That means that they're not aware. The light turns green, they sit through a green light, or they take off and at the wrong time. It's just not a safe habit to get into.
All right, yeah, so I need to do better on that. And I've found myself. I've learned my lesson. I was one of those that would text a little bit and talk non-hands-free before the ordinance, and I got to say that I'm a believer now because there's a lot of distraction out there. But Mayor Tom Hanel, City of Billings Mayor, and one final comment from you. We want to wrap this thing up.
Absolutely, Larry. What might that be? Anything in particular?
Yeah, any final thoughts?
You leave that up to me.
Yeah,
you're leaving that up to me.
It's your show, yeah.
Well, thank you, Larry, and I just want to thank the listeners out there, being informed citizens. I can't thank them enough. What a great place to live. But let's keep in mind that we have an exciting weekend ahead of us with the Super Bowl. It's going to bring people together, have a lot of fun. Please be safe. If you do indulge, have a designated driver. Best of luck to the team you support, and may it be a fun and very competitive game and with minimal injuries.
You know that Ozzie the Grizzly at Zoo, Montana chose your team, the Denver Broncos, to win.
Absolutely, and I'm hoping Ozzie is correct. I do have a lot of respect for the Panthers. They're a great team, but I'm obviously supportive of the Broncos, and I'm hoping they're the successful team.
I don't want to be a downer, but last time that Ozzie the Grizzly at Zoo, Montana selected the Broncos, it didn't fare so well, just so you know.
Oh, I remember. So it's not a proven method by any means.
Right.
That's for sure.
All right, Mayor Tom Hennel, Mayor Call on Livin Large Larry Live at livinlargelarry.com. And we're also on YouTube at the website, too. We'll talk to you, sir, next week on the show. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Larry. Okay. Goodbye now.
Take care. Replay of Mayor Tom Hennel on the show, livinlargelarry.com. Livin Large Larry Live, the show. Our replay sponsor is from Keystone Mortgage in Billings. Their Main in the Heights location still open, but I stopped by their new location, downtown Billings at Keystone Mortgage, a much more spacious space. Keystone Mortgage, our replay sponsor. You're not just a number, you're our number one priority from Keystone Mortgage. All kinds of blinds in Billings. Temperature check 31, 45 in Billings later on today. Redline Computers Studios. West end of Billings, sandwiched in between the Wave Car Wash and the Dollar Tree. Livin Large Larry Live. Jim and Austin's Barber Shop, Main in Billings Heights, is the official barber for the Livin Large Larry Live show. Our staff here, the best $10 haircut you'll ever have. And if you go over your lunch hour, 10 minutes, you'll be in and out looking good. Jim and Austin's Barber Shop, 2225 Main in the Heights, official sponsors of the 2016 Billings Wolves. Jim and Austin's Barber Shop.
Livin Large Larry Live.
I was having a conversation with a friend of mine about taxes, and my friend received one of those dreaded IRS letters. I says, you know what? Save the pain. Go to Lisa Woods Accounting in Billings, and it is tax season. There's over 50 new laws that were just approved for the 2016 tax season. I don't care to even know them, to be honest with you. That's why God made accountants. Lisa Woods Accounting at 1211 Grand, Suite 4, woodsaccounting.com. Our Billings, Montana forecast from Broughton Construction and Home Repair. BRAATON. You can find them on Facebook. Trustworthy, knowledgeable, offering 30 years of experience in concrete, remodeling, roofing, and siding, as well as specialized consulting service to revitalize your home for improved livability or increased value prior to sale. If you're going to sell your house this spring or summer, and get on those winter remodeling projects. Broughton Construction and Home Repair. Sunday near 45 this afternoon, and not a bad weekend. Isolated showers, mainly Saturday afternoon. About 47 to 50 for a high, 45 for Super Bowl Sunday. Even glancing at the first part of next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, between 47 and 55 for highs. An expanded look over Billings, Montana forecast. Log on to livinlargelarry.com. Click on the weather button. You use the weather button. Forecast, in the meantime, is brought to you in part by Jade Furman of Landmark Realtors at montanaproperty.com. Jade Furman, Landmark Realtors, 1925 Grand Avenue, a longtime reputation of ethical business practices and attention to detail. Jade Furman of Landmark Realtors. And Billings Morning News and more coming up here, livinlargelarry.com. Any time of year, any kind of blind, all kinds of blinds in Billings, all kinds of blindsmt.com. Very cool website. Log on and see how interactive it is. But seriously, cellular blinds, vertical blinds, Roman shades, woven woods. Any question you have about blinds or window coverings or window film, talk to Bobby Gray with all kinds of blinds in Billings, all kinds of blindsmt.com. And Bobby Gray and his crew have worked on some of the biggest buildings and businesses in and around Billings, not just Billings, all kinds of blinds in Billings. They go out to Shepherd and round up Columbus as well. And to give them a shot, all kinds of blinds, and ask for Bobby Gray. Log on to all kinds of blindsmt.com for contact details as well. The show is Livin Large Larry Live, livinlargelarry.com with our YouTube. You can click on that at the website as well. And you're on the TuneIn mobile app for your smartphones. Thanks for that. For Blackberries, iPhones, Androids. Up in Red Lodge, Montana. Red Lodge Mountain Snow Reports. Snowboarding or skiing this weekend, if you're up and about this morning heading that way. And the reports on the show from Mike Hines, realtor with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Floberg Real Estate, 406-697-9031. About 20 inches of snow total, groomed, packed down, ready for you today and the weekend. 20 inches at Mid-Mountain. Most of the lifts are open, And the two quad lifts are still challenged, just not enough snow, and that's a safety feature. They're not open yet, the two quad lifts, but they're still, all the other lifts are open for you. And check out the website for a more in-depth report, redlodgemountain.com. Get details on the March annual winter fair coming up. Log on and find out about that great annual event. The Red Lodge Mountain Snow Reports here on the show. Livin Large Larry live for Mike Hines, Realtor with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Floberg Real Estate, Billings.
Livin Large Larry live.
All kinds of blinds in Billings, all kinds of blindsmt.com. Quick temperature check at 31, about 45 this afternoon. Decent weekend for Super Bowl weekend. Should be mainly in the 40s, and then the first part of next week in the 50s. Might reach 60 by Wednesday afternoon. Attribution for our news stories on the Billings Morning News and more from Color8.com and KTVQ.com, as well as the Billings Gazette, and from time to time, Last Best News as well. Rimrock Flooring in Billings with Mark Wotan and his crew. This is the start of year number 2 in business on the Billings Chamber of Commerce and Billings Gazette Communications announced that Captain Chesley Sully Sullenberger, a pilot famed for his miracle landing on the Hudson River, as the keynote speaker for the 2016 Billings Chamber Breakfast, an event formerly known as the Salesperson's Breakfast. It is the Chamber's largest annual event, hosting over 1,800 attendees. Last year, it'll be held Thursday, March 31st at Metro Park. Sully, Captain Sullenberger, known for his impressive leadership under pressure, is expected to share his expertise in team leadership. The event will run from 7 a.m. till 9 a.m. Doors open up at 6 a.m. Again, the date is March 31st at Metro Park. $450 for a reserved table of 10 on the arena floor there with breakfast and a buffet. If you want stadium seating, it's available for $30. It's general admission with the hot bagged breakfast. You can get tickets through the Metro Park box office and through the Billings Chamber of Commerce. The disappearance of a Billings man has police declaring it a missing persons case, according to the Billings Police Department. Perry Gallagher is 43. He went missing back on January 27th at about 9 in the morning. The father of 3 was last seen driving a maroon and silver 1994 Econoline E350. Gallagher's description: he's 6'1", weighs 175 pounds, slender build. He has slightly gray hair and blue eyes. If you have any information regarding his whereabouts, you're asked to call the Billings Police Department at the non-emergency number is 406-657-8200. A small earthquake rattled some people in and around Clancy and Helena. On Thursday nights, or on Wednesday night, the 3.7 magnitude quake struck at about 12:47 in the morning, and so on Thursday at a depth of about 4.2 miles, according to the U.S. Geological Survey. The quake was centered about 3 miles northwest of Clancy, that's about 6 miles south of Helena, and 42 miles northeast of Butte. There have been no reports of injuries or damage, but several dozen people reported they did feel it. This is the second small quake felt by Montanans within the last few days. Last Saturday, a 4.3 magnitude earthquake happened at around 12:30 in the afternoon. That quake was centered about 13 miles east of Lincoln and 29 miles northwest of Helena. No damages or injuries reported in that quake as well. There's new information about a Montana State University student from Billings who died in Bozeman earlier in the week. Natalie Dietrich, she was 20, died last Saturday, as a result of an accidental drug interaction. That's according to her obituary. Dietrich was studying economics at MSU in Bozeman. She was born in Billings, graduated from Billings Senior High in 2013. Services will be held at noon on Saturday at the American Lutheran Church on Lewis Avenue. According to the coroner, there is still no official cause of death. Sad story for a young, bright MSU college student. The Billings Morning News and more from Rimrock Flooring at 1440 Central Avenue, with 3 stores for better buying power and over 40 tile silhouettes on display in the showroom there. Rimrock Flooring, 1440 Central, rimrockflooringmt.com, and on Facebook as well.
Looking for a unique experience this Valentine's Day? The Beauty Mark Salon and N2 Cryotherapy of Plaza 24 at 805 24th Street West have teamed up to offer you this honey of a deal, including a cut, blowout, and style for two from the Beauty Mark Salon and a duo freeze for two from N2 Cryotherapy. Stop by and get this Valentine's Sweetheart package at either the Beauty Mark Salon or N2 Cryotherapy for only $99, a $150 value. Call N2 Cryotherapy at 406-534-8850 for more details. Offer available February 1st through 13th, 2016.
The annual Taste of Billings is coming up tonight, Friday night, Saturday night as well. Billings Depot, downtown Billings. And we'll talk with Jennifer Mercer, the big boss over at the Billings Depot, coming up in just a few minutes. Taste of Billings, it is here this weekend. LivinLargeLarry.com, the Red Line Computer Studios, West Billings, for Live and Large Larry Live. Glad you're here worldwide. You should make a massage part of your weekly routine, or at least a couple times a month. Full service salon and spa, Quick Spa, quick-spa.com support my show, Live and Large Larry Live, with, when I say full service, I mean full service. Spray tans, permanent makeup, deep tissue massage, hot stone body wraps. Jamie does the best in nails, with gel polish, nail arts, full service salon and spa in Billings. 2348 Grand Avenue, quick-spa.com.
Call or email your Live and Large Larry Live show ideas. Larry at liveandlargelarry.com and 1-888-858-1408.
Jennifer, are you there?
I am here.
Okay. I've got a quick little piece of music going on now. And we'll fade that out and we'll go live here in a second.
Great. I was listening to some beautiful elevator music.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful. Did it put you back to sleep, did it?
Yeah, I'm kind of like, okay, it's early. This is early for Jennifer. Don't expect too much from me.
Yeah, okay. Hold on one second. Let me try to segue out of this mess. Don't go away.
Live and Large Larry Live.
And a big weekend with the Billings Depot, and we've been teasing this for a couple of weeks now. Jennifer Mercer with the Billings Depot and Taste of Billings. It is finally here, Jennifer.
Good morning. Yes, it is. Hard to believe sometimes. It feels like it's forever away, and then all of a sudden today is the day.
So Jennifer Mercer, Billings Depot, how many years for the Taste of Billings?
This is our second year, so this is the second time we've done this event. It's similar to the summertime event that we've done, but we wanted just to give Billings something fun to do in the wintertime, since this is always, if you're not a skier, it's always the bummer part of the year when you have the colder weather and nobody's out and about, so this is the fun time to socialize in the winter.
Do you find this event growing year to year? I mean, it's from how many years for the Taste of Billings now?
No, this is the second year. Yeah, this is the second year. So yeah, definitely bigger this year than last year for sure.
And what I find unique and fun to talk about and experience, hopefully tonight and Saturday night, Taste of Billings, downtown Billings Depot, is that each night is different. They're not the same thing.
Definitely completely different. It's like planning two completely different events at the exact same time. So Friday night's the party night. It's like Tales for Trails, but focused on the amazing food. So we have all the amazing restaurants in town are doing tastings, so you can come in. I always dare the guys, see if you can eat all the food.
Oh, great.
That's actually quite the challenge. There's a lot of food, so people are like, I don't know if I'm going to get enough food. Yeah, you're going to get enough food, I promise. There's a ton of food there. Along with 25 different local microbrews and regional microbrews, and then over a dozen different wines. And, of course, Josh and John from the Clintons, they're playing as the Wench, and those guys are so much fun. So, yeah, it's just going to be a great night.
Did you say the Wench?
The the wench. I know. They're so much fun.
I don't want to
They
put you
are
on
so
the
much fun.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but can you rattle off some of the restaurants involved in helping you out with Taste of Billings?
Oh, yes, absolutely. So Cajun Fatties was a big hit last year, so we brought Cajun Fatties back. Of course, we have our neighbors across the street. Chow Mambo is coming. Uber Brew is coming. We'll have Lilac at the Saturday event. Cafe Italia is going to be there tonight. We're going to have Walker's Grill there tomorrow night. Jake's is going to be there both nights. Ken from the Northern is there both nights. Stacked, new hit restaurant downtown. Amazing food is going to be there both nights. Bin 119 is going to be there tonight. Commons 1882. We're going to have Enzo there tomorrow night, which is a great addition to the event. Oktoberfest is the new German restaurant. They're going to be there. I didn't bring my list with me, so I know I'm missing a few right now, and it's killing me.
I've got the list in front of me, and so far you're spot on.
Yeah.
Actually, you've got most of them
Montana
listed there.
Montana Rib and Chop House is going to be there tonight, which will be a blast. Those guys are awesome. Yeah. So okay, who am I missing? Help me out here.
Oh, you got most of them.
It's 7:30 in the morning.
Well, no, if you go on to billingsdepot.org, they're all right there.
Yes, I should have pulled up my computer in front of me.
Oh, no,
or brought a poster home.
Well, we have the listeners have to have a little bit of work to do, so we can have them log on to billingsdepot.org and check it out. But
right, there we go.
Casual tonight, and then Saturday night is more elegant. Are you looking for some people dressing up in nice formal wear tomorrow night, do you think?
Yeah, tomorrow the most formal event we've had in Billings, which I know guys are like, the depot will never have looked more beautiful. We've already been in the process of getting things set up. So a few of the elements are going to be in place for tonight, and the folks that are there tonight are really going to get to see just a little glimpse of what tomorrow will be like. But we're talking crystals somewhere and lights everywhere. It's absolutely beautiful.
If I can just say
the most
that
elegant event in Billings.
As a dude, to me, dressing up would be maybe a nice newer pair of blue jeans. And a button-down shirt, and then a sport coat. A sport coat does it for the guys, if you ask me.
You're funny. Well, on this one, it's more tuxedos. This one's more tuxedos and ball gowns. Saturday night is suits and tuxedos, ball gowns. It's amazing. It's a chance to really do something. I mean, we don't have much of that in Montana.
Right.
We were calling it Montana black tie because suits are okay for the guys because this is Montana and most guys don't have tuxedos.
True.
But it really is a chance to pull out your best and oh gosh, yeah, it's just beautiful. We have a big band that's performing. We have ballroom dancers that are performing. It's going to be beautiful. And the food.
Talk about your team. It's not just Jennifer Mercer that takes care of details.
Oh, Lord, no.
Yeah, right. Depot as well for helping to put this together. It's the planning process is months long.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy. It takes pretty much the entire year, and then we have the, of course, Lori and Sarah have been so helpful in getting all the details put together at the depot office, and then we have Cassie LaGreca with Better Together, Brooke and Rhoda with Dia Events are, I think they kicked themselves when they made one of their suggestions, which is just out of this world cool. But as soon as he said it, he was like, oh, what did I just do? But it's going to be amazing, and it's taking this event to the next level. And Katie that does Max Floral, she's doing all the flowers for the event. That's going to be absolutely amazing. So, yeah, we're pretty excited. There's it takes an entire team. We have over 100 volunteers. Over 100 volunteers that make this event happen, which is pretty amazing. So
we're talking to Jennifer Mercer. She's with the Billings Depot for Taste of Billings, downtown Billings. It's Friday night tonight and also Saturday night, and we are looking forward to it. Now, the big question is, are there tickets remaining for Friday and Saturday night for the event?
Well, Saturday night it's sold out.
Okay.
That one is always going to be the sellout. But we had one table that backed out last minute, and so we do have 4 seats still left available at the Saturday night event, but we need to get those sold this morning. So if anybody is interested in going to one of the most beautiful events you've ever seen in Billings, give us a call at the depot right away, 656-7273. Those tickets are not available online. You have to call the depot to get those. Friday night tickets are still available online right now. We'll be cutting off those sales, I think, about noon. So you want to get your tickets. And we're really close to being sold out on that. So if you don't have your tickets yet, you're going to want to be there. It's going to be a blast. Get online right now and get your tickets.
That'll be the most talked about event of the weekend, the Billings Depot's Taste of Billings. Jennifer Mercer, Whew, take a breath. Good work. It's going to be a big weekend for you.
Thanks.
It is, and we appreciate your time this morning on Livin Large, Larry Live. We appreciate you. Thanks for the work.
Thank you so much, Larry. Appreciate your time. Have a great day.
All
See you
right,
tonight.
Jennifer, we'll see you around town.
All right.
All right, take care.
All right, bye-bye.
See you.
Livin Large, Larry Live from the Redline Computer Studios next to the Dollar Tree off of King Avenue West in Billings, Montana. This is Livin Large, Larry Live.
Well, a complete forecast for Billings coming up here from the Redline Computer Studios, West Billings. Livin Large, Larry Live, livinlargelarry.com. And all kinds of blinds in Billings, all kinds of blinds, mt.com. Quick temperature check, 31, 45 today. At the Billings Morning News and more coming up for you as well, on the way. We're on YouTube now. Access that through our website. It's hard to believe Valentine's Day is coming up Sunday, February 14th. And the Bighorn Resorts out off of Majestic Lane in Billings off of I-90 Zoo Drive exit have the Lovebirds special for $99. It's an all-inclusive package and standard king room, hand-dipped strawberries, bottle of champagne at the Bighorn Resort. Log on for details, thebighornresort.com. And don't forget about the Family Water Park package, Valentine's weekend in Billings as well for less than $150. It includes 4 water park passes for the kids and pizza, pitcher of soda, all inclusive. The water park's open on that Monday, too, after Sunday, Valentine's Day, February 14th. All at the Bighorn Resorts, thebighornresort.com. Billings weather from Jade Furman of Landmark Realtors, MontanaProperty.com at 1925 Grand Avenue. She can provide a market analysis to clients wanting to list and sell their home, including specialized consulting in current trends and colors and styles, as well as modifications and the value of staging your property, which may help increase the profitability on the sale of your home as well. Jade Furman of Landmark Realtors. About 50 or so this afternoon, 45 to 50, sunny. And the weekend coming up here, some isolated showers Saturday afternoon, maybe rain and snow mix, but nice. 47 to 51, 45 coming up on Sunday. Super Bowl Sunday, by the way. Looking ahead to next week, first part of the week, between 47 and 55 degrees in Billings. An extended forecast, always available. Log on to livinlargelarry.com. Click on the weather button at the website there. We use the weather button. Forecast for Billings from Broughton Construction and Home Repair. Truly local, born and raised in south central Montana and servicing Billings and the surrounding area. It's Broughton Construction and Home Repair. You can find them on Facebook, BRAAT. And a high wind watch in effect for this area, this entire region, Absaroka, Columbus, Red Lodge. If you're out on the highways traveling this weekend, just be careful. Some of the gusts of wind between Saturday morning and Saturday night, between 60 and 70 mile per hour gusts. So keep that in mind. And expanded look at our forecast. You can always log on to livinlargelarry.com. Click on that weather button at our website. It's been a long time running for Brown's Automotive in Billings, over 60 years now, with trust, experience, and communication. As Brown's Automotive deals in tune-ups, tire and alignment, complete auto repairs, transmission specialist, and 4 locations. There's 2 on the west end of Billings. Brown's Auto Service on Broadwater, Brown's West Auto Service, the corner of Rosebud and 20th in West Billings, and a couple of locations downtown Billings, the Automatic Transmission Company, 13th Street North and 1st Avenue North, and Brown's Rebuild Center. It's at 18th Street North and 2nd Avenue North. Brown's Automotive, over 60 years going strong. BrownsAutoBillings.com. We give attribution to KTVQ.com, Color8.com, and the Billings Gazette for some of our news gathering on the show here. The Billings Morning News and more is brought to you by Rimrock Flooring in Billings, RimrockFlooringMT.com. They have 3 stores for better buying power for you. It's an advantage for you because the costs remain low with all that buying power. Rimrock Flooring, 1440 Central Avenue. Former U.S. Senator John Walsh has been appointed State Director of the USDA Rural Development Agency in Montana. An agency spokesman in D.C. confirmed the appointment Thursday afternoon. Walsh's appointment becomes effective on Monday, February 8th. Walsh is a combat vet of Iraq who served as the Adjunct General of Montana's National Guard between 2008 and 2012. Walsh then served as Bullock's Lieutenant Governor in 2013 and 2014 until he was appointed by Bullock to the Senate to serve the remaining term of Max Baucus, who took an appointment as the U.S. Ambassador to China. The former Sweetgrass County High School employee accused of having sex with a student has indicated he will admit to the crime. Attorneys for Mitchell Burkle filed a motion on January 19th to vacate the jury trial and set a change of plea hearing. Burkle is charged with 1 count of sexual intercourse without consent for allegedly having sex with a 15-year-old student back in 2014. A change of plea hearing has been set for February 23rd. And a Busby man he has close to 100 previous convictions, was sentenced Thursday in U.S. District Court in Billings to 5 years probation for getting a teenager pregnant. Kyle Bigback of the Northern Cheyenne Indian Reservation was sentenced without a plea agreement for the charge of felony sexual abuse of a minor. Judge Susan Waters pronounced the sentence. The girl was 17 when she reported to police that Bigback had raped her. According to prosecutors, Bigback has nearly 100 prior convictions in state and tribal court, but since many of the convictions were in tribal court, they do not influence the federal court sentencing. Over 100 previous convictions, this being a rape, and he gets sentenced to 5 years probation. What is the justice in that? A hearing is scheduled for next week in Glendive to discuss Montana Dakota Utilities, MDU, proposed 21.1% electricity increase. The Montana Public Service Commission will talk about the requested $11.8 million rate increase. It would affect about 26,000 customers in eastern Montana. The average increase for A MDU customer, by the way, will be about $14.80 a month. PSC, by law, has to issue an order about the rate case by March 25th. The meeting is Tuesday, February 9th through Friday the 12th next week, starting at 9 a.m. The meeting will be in the basement of the Dawson County Courthouse basement in Glendive. The Billings Morning News and more from Rimrock Flooring, locally owned. Their showroom floor is not discontinued flooring. When you walk in there, you'll notice that. Their 5,000 square foot showroom, Rimrock Flooring, 1440 Central Avenue, rimrockflooringmt.com. The Billings Morning News and more from Rimrock Flooring at 1440 Central Avenue in a 5,000 square foot showroom. Go check it out. This is year 2 for Rimrock Flooring in business. Mark Woden has 11 years of experience in the flooring industry. You can count on him. rimrockflooringmt.com. We utilize Billings Gazette, The Last Best News, Color8.com, and KTVQ.com for gathering some of our news stories here on the Billings Morning News and more. Members of the Montana Burial Preservation Board have determined that the human remains found earlier this week in Cascade County are at least 240 years old. On Monday, Cascade County Sheriff's deputies responded to an area about 19 miles south of Ulm along the Smith River after a skull was discovered by a family walking along the bank. Montana Burial Preservation Board Chair Dr. Ruth Ann Knutson said the remains are of a female in her early 30s and were found below the high water mark of the river. Dr. Knutson said they will rebury the remains at an undisclosed location. Technical difficulties have hit the IRS as people across the U.S. are trying to file their 2015 taxes. The agency on Wednesday said it experienced a hardware failure that brought down some of its tax processing systems, including the one that enables people to file their returns electronically. The IRS isn't exactly at the cutting edge of technology, apparently, thanks to persistent budget cuts. The agency's efforts to modernize its technologies have been held up. IRS Commissioner John Koskinen told a Senate panel in February of last year. He also said some IRS systems still use the COBOL, the COBOL programming language, which Computer World once described as, quote, a programming dinosaur that was last popular in the 1980s. The IRS said it does not anticipate major tax refund disruption. With all that said, the IRS is quick to remind us that taxes are due April 18th of this year. The head of one of the country's largest heavy civil contracting firms has pledged $6 million to Montana State University in Bozeman. The donation from Bozeman's Tim and Mary Barnard will go toward the university's College of Engineering and a planned South Campus development. Tim Barnard is founder and chairman of Barnard Companies, which specializes in highways, bridges, and other commercial and other infrastructure projects. Barnard, a Villanova graduate, has been involved with MSU since the late 1980s. He's since established scholarships and helped fund new facilities, new faculties as well. He received an honorary doctorate from MSU back in 2011. Representatives from air ambulance companies made their case on Thursday that they're put in a bind by insurance companies and have to charge high rates to patients to stay in business. The operator of a hospital-based service in Montana says he operates at a small profit and doesn't send bills to people who take emergency flights. Representatives from the Reach Air, which operates Summit Air Ambulance in Bozeman and Helena, as well as an industry spokesman and director of finance for the Washington-based nonprofit that runs flights for St. Patrick's Hospital in Missoula, spoke during a packed meeting of the legislature's Economic Affairs Interim Committee on Thursday. St. Vincent Healthcare in Billings, which has both a helicopter and airplane ambulance, operates its service at a small profit, according to Ron Oldfield, the hospital's chief financial officer. The Billings Morning News and more from Rimrock Flooring at 1440 Central Avenue, and 40 tile silhouettes always on display in their showroom at Rimrock Flooring, 1440 Central in Billings and Rimrock. Livin Large Larry Live, the show, our replay sponsors from Keystone Mortgage in Billings. Their Main in the Heights location still open, but I stopped by their new location downtown Billings at Keystone Mortgage, a much more spacious space. Keystone Mortgage, our replay sponsor. You're not just a number, you're our number one priority from Keystone Mortgage.